Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, or if you're new, hi, this is my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about this gorgeous looking book right here. This is Honor Among Thieves by Rachel Caine and Anne Aguirre, or Aguirre. I have no idea, but they are fantastic either way. So let's just get right on into the video. If you guys are stuck with my channel since the beginning, or if you guys have browsed my channel, you'll know that I have done some book reviews before, but it's going to be pretty similar, although I'm going to do a different rating system, because I think my stars, like out of 5 stars, is a bit questionable because it's so limited. So I'm going to do everything out of 10, and that's going to include the title, the cover art, the characters, and the writing style, and if there's any more I'll just add it on type thing. But finish this book in a day, which I seem to be doing anytime I pick a book from, because I'm part of a book club that a friend of mine from uni actually created, and so I just pick one every month, and I picked Honor Among Thieves because I thought, you know what, I'd like to try sci-fi, because I actually watched Jacksepticeye play Event Zero, and I was just like, yes, okay, I have to. I'm like proper into this whole sci-fi thing now. I like sci-fi films, but I've never really read a sci-fi book unless you class it Warcross, because then I've got that, and then there's this, which both of them are actually from this book club, so that's quite cool. And yeah, I picked it up, and I'd heard of Rachel Caine because I actually have Morganville Vampires Omnibus, which is the first 3 books all in one, but I haven't actually read it yet, and I put that on my Instagram ages ago. And I'm actually, due to reading this, I am very much more inclined to read the Morganville Vampires. I know it's a bit different, it's vampires rather than sci-fi, but anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about this book. So I gave it 7.5 out of 10 for the entire book. I haven't really got any negative thoughts about this book. I don't know, I just don't think it's I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, although I would read it again. But I don't know, I'm just feeling like there's something missing, and I'll explain that in my comments. But yeah, for the writing style, 8 out of 10. I love the way it was depicted. It was first person, but then it actually swapped over to sometimes Nadim, and it sort of swapped between them, and then it sort of came into a we situation, which I found that very odd. I didn't like those bits. I know it made sense. It would probably make sense if you put that into a film, and I know you can't really describe that very well in the book, but they tried. I wasn't really a fan of the whole we concept, because it was by the way, I'm pretty sure this review is going to have spoilers in it, so pre-warning right now. Yeah, so it was the whole when they merged together. I wasn't really a fan of that. I liked the concept, and I liked the fact that they're so close that they merged, and it was all to do with the Leviathan bit in her brain and all of that, but I don't know, I just didn't like the way they wrote that bit. That was it. That's just one of the things. But besides that, I loved it. I loved the first person, and I loved Zara as a character. I think she was fantastic. She was hard-ass, she was sarcastic, she took no one's crap, okay? That is always good. And yeah, I just thought she was fabulous, and I think she was a very good main character for a YA book, and she swore a lot, which resonates with me. But no, I thought she was really, really good, well written. But I gave characters 6 out of 10 simply because there aren't that many characters I can comment on, because it was mainly from Zara's point of view, and the whole point of this book is that she's sort of up in space with one other person basically, and Nadim, who is her Leviathan ship. So it's her, Bea, or Bea, or B, because her real name is Beatrice, so it all depends on how you nickname her. But so it was just basically the 3 of them, so we got a lot on them, although I would have preferred to have a bit more on B's character, simply because, I mean, we got a lot of Zara, which I loved. I loved her backstory. I mean, it was dark, but it wasn't written so dark that you like wanted to cry type thing. It was just really good, and it fit very well with the story, and with her whole headaches, the reason why she's got the Leviathan piece in her head, it all makes sense, and I thought that was very well entwined. But we got a lot of Nadim, because obviously she was linked with Nadim, but I would really, really love in the next book, or books to come, I mean, there's got to be a second book. If there's not, they wasted their time. But I would love more on the Leviathan side of things. Like, we got a lot of the anatomy, and we got a lot of how they fight, how you can put weapons in them and stuff like that. But I want more of their backstory. I want to know about their home planet, because the whole point of this book was all about keeping secrets about the journey and what's actually out there. And it turns out there's a lot more out there than they were telling the humans. But the whole concept of it was that the world, we got saved years and years ago because we were about to destroy ourselves, which, you know what, seems very likely at this stage. But the Leviathan came, they helped, and so now they bring up honours, which Zara got picked for. And that's what they are. The honours there's 2 honours to each Leviathan, and they train on this thing called the Tour, and then they go on the journey if they're chosen by these elders. And it's all, I loved the hierarchy system of it, and the whole, it was very much Hunger Games, but with less people killing each other. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool aspect of it. But yeah, so my point is that there's not that many characters I can comment on. Like, the ones that we do, they're all very diverse. Like, Bia's from Brazil and speaks Portuguese, speaks like 4 languages. Got Zara, who's from the lower 8 Detroit, who's, I believe she's African American. And then there's Marco, who went to Cambridge but has an Eastern European accent. Then you've got Chao Xing, well, she's from China, I believe. And then you've got Nadim, and you've got Typhon, who are both Leviathan. The relationship between Nadim and Zara, I absolutely love it. It's obviously a romantic relationship, but the thing is, you can't really do much, I don't think, with obviously a spaceship. Technically a living alien spaceship, and then obviously a human. But they obviously go deeper, they go to the emotional aspect of it, and they go to the deeper bond and stuff like that. But I am intrigued to see how they carry that relationship on, because yes, you can keep going like that, but I don't think there's much else new that they can throw at us. Like, are they going to give Nadim a humanoid body? I mean, I'd quite enjoy that, because then they can have more of a physical relationship, as it were. But like, yeah, humanoid body, or like, because she kept saying that she could feel him and sort of like feel him as a physical presence. So I wonder if maybe technology or other alien species can help them form this humanoid version of himself, just so he can be with Zara a bit more. Because I don't really know what else they can do with it other than just keep it as a relationship and then have them fall out and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'd like a humanoid version of Nadim, just to see what... Because I have a picture of what he might look like as a human in my head. I just wonder if, like, it matches what they plan on writing, if they even plan on writing it. But he actually reminds me a bit of Bumblebee from Transformers, although Nadim seems a lot sweeter and a bit more naive than Bumblebee, because, well, he's a young Leviathan. And it's quite funny, when I was reading Leviathan, all I kept thinking of was Supernatural, and I'm thinking, is Dick gonna show up? We don't know. But yeah, so he knows some stuff, but he doesn't know a lot of stuff. He has this mixture of young and naive, but there's also, like, he knows more than he's letting on. But I think we sort of know the extent of his knowledge now. But he's strong, but he's very, very sweet to Zara, which I found absolutely adorable. And I love Nadim to pieces. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Typhon. Yes, he was an arsewipe in the beginning, okay? But I don't know, just near the end, because I knew there was going to be a backstory to Typhon. He couldn't just be the arsewipe that he was portrayed to be. And then he turns out to be a soldier and turns out to have lost his honours. And I'm just sat there like, what are you trying to do to me? I'm not supposed to like this dickhead, but here we are. But yeah, I hope they keep Typhon on. I hope they don't just kill Typhon or give him, like, you know, like a hero's death and stuff like that. I want him to, if he's lasting, I want him to last all the way, and then you can kill him off. And another character that wasn't very, he was present, but he wasn't really present, and that was the Medbot. It's not called a Medbot in here, I can't remember what it's called in this book, but the Medbot, he was programmed to, like, use slang and be sarcastic and make jokes, and I absolutely loved that, because it, like, really pushed Zara's buttons, and then she laughed, and I just thought it was very much, it was a bit of home, I think, for Zara, like a home that she didn't really like the zone. It was just a place to survive, basically, and I think it was a piece of that she didn't really mind. Oh, but Zara's father, I wanted to reach through, when she didn't slap him, when she first saw him, I wanted to reach through the book and, like, shake her, like, slap him, he's an asshole. At the end of this book, we find out who the real enemy is, or one of many possible enemies, because we finally found out there are all these different races, and there are these black creature things that sort of burrow into Leviathan and make them go doolally, basically, and make them homicidal, which is never good considering how big and strong these Leviathan are. But that makes me think that there's more to it than just, because when they started mentioning war and stuff like that, because there were snippets, which this is what I absolutely loved about this book, there were snippets of, like, news coverage or web articles or just articles in general from different sources talking about the Leviathan and conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and turns out these are actually all correct. And Leviathan came here for a different reason. There's a different reason other than just cultural exchange. And it's right, they're trying to fight this war. We don't know who they're fighting, but then these black things, we assume it's not just these black things, because yes, you need a lot of weapons to kill these things because they're vicious lizard, arachnid things is what they're basically described as. But I have a feeling it's, I originally thought it was Leviathan versus Leviathan, and then it was just one side of this whole war thing, because I originally guessed war, which I'm quite proud of that. But oh gosh, I don't know, I just really hope they don't start getting lazy with the description. Like, they don't go too into detail, which is good, because you don't just want it filled with detail or else you're just gonna get bored. But I just really, yeah, hope they don't get lazy and just say, look, from Zara's point of view, just go, oh, it's a little green alien thing. She keeps calling them green little alien man, which is what we have as the traditional alien. And all I'm saying is I just hope they don't get lazy with the description, which I don't think they will, but it's just always a fear of mine when creating other worlds, because they've now got to create a lot more planets, because now that the tour's over, they've now got to go in, they're on the run, so they've got to go into space further. They can go back to Earth, but they'd go back to Earth for supplies, I'm sure, but they can't really see the honors program, because then they'll find out that this is actually happening, and then Typhon will have to explain to the other elders, and it's just going to be a complete and utter shit show if they do that. Who knows, they might do it, and yay, write a shit show, that's great. I really want more info on this whole journey and the war, and I really hope they might consider doing flashbacks in the next book. Like, I'm not talking about Zara's flashbacks, I'm talking about like maybe Typhon's flashbacks, or Nadim's flashback, or maybe like where there's snippets of the news article, maybe there's little snippets of other honors on the ships who have gone on the journey and therefore into battle. That'd be really cool. So I really hope they do something like that. I've got like questions. Will the humans ever find out that the Leviathan are here for a war? Is Zara going to tell them? Should she tell them? Is she going to, as I said, is she going to go back to Earth? Are the other Leviathan going to tell them? I'm sure they can't tell them, because, I mean, let's be honest, us humans don't take stuff like that very well, so probably not. But I absolutely, to end this book, I absolutely loved the last line. And I quote, "I'd always been at war," and I'm just like, yes, that is fantastic. It wrapped it all up perfectly, and then it completely opens it to the next book. And yeah, I mean, it was such a good book, and as I said, it's 7.5 out of 10, and it looks like this. And it's so pretty. I just love the cover art. What did I give for the cover art? Yeah, so 7.5 out of 10 for the entire book. 8 out of 10 for both the writing style and the cover art. I gave it 10 out of 10 for the title. I just thought the title really fits well, because obviously they're called honors. And then she was a thief, and it all started with her stealing this. Oh, yeah. So obviously there's this gangster guy that she stole from, and he's waiting for her on Earth, so she's not going to want to go back to Earth. I reckon she's going to end up going back to Earth to get supplies, and she's going to run into him, and that's going to be a complete utter shit show. Oh my god, I'm excited now. But I don't know if I really care about him anymore, but because I'm so focused on the other world and the Leviathan. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if he like meets Nadim? I think Nadim might kill him. Might be the first human Nadim purposely kills. So that has been me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, it's greatly appreciated. Hit the big red subscribe button down below if you're not subscribed already, and comment down below if you've read this book and if you have, what you've thought of it. And all my social media are linked down below, as well as my previous video. And yeah, I think, oh, and an email for any business inquiries. Some of my other videos should be up here somewhere, and I will see you guys in another video.